Hello YouTube, let's continue with the 64 router, and sorry about the small delay in my video series about it. I've been working on my grandpa's summer house for about 3 summers now, approximately spent 1000 hours on it, and this summer I only had one room left to do, but as always it takes a little bit of a longer time than one think. Anyways, here's a small picture how the room looked before and how it looked after. I have now changed all the electric cables in the house, so that feels very nice. The plan for this video is to make the gantry a bit higher and also to add a steel plate on top of the aluminium here, since I believe that this aluminium will be scratched up in no time. And as you can see, I've now mounted the motors, and it looks a little different here, the rear side of the enclosure. So I made a small little thing here to mount the step drivers and the controller, and I also decided to put all the power supplies in this little cabinet here. So each stepper driver or motor have their own 60-volt power supply, plus I got one more for the water cooling pump and the CNC controller, as well as the light inside the enclosure. And I also received some nice stuff that I wanted to have for a very long time: a compressor and this one for the compressor to run some mist coolant. This one will be very nice to try. And also a small little flood coolant kit bought on Amazon, Germany. This one was around 170 bucks. I think it's kind of expensive, but I don't have time to make my own little kit. Time is also money. And to make the gantry higher, I will simply chop off 2 pieces of this one here. This one is pretty massive and I don't have a very good saw, so I think that I will try to drill some on a line here, and hopefully it will be a bit easier to chop it off then. So now mounted a carbide 5mm Chinese drill, so let's do some drilling. Right, so this is how the chamfered edge turned out. I'm very pleased with the finish and the result. Angle blocks are really gold worth. So the next step will be to remove a decent amount of material here, so that this one can be placed all the way out. So since it is some material that needs to be removed, I'm thinking that I will start off with some drilling, then mill off just the final millimeters. Right, so here we have the first one, and I don't really know if drilling like I did was too successful. This one is now roughened out, so I will put it in later and make a finishing pass. Measure here with the caliper so that it will be the same distance as on this one. And yeah, I tried different approach on this one and drilling from this side, and by doing so I only needed to drill 5 holes. Then I tried some plunge building here, but didn't feel too successful really. It felt like it took a lot of time and a lot of chips flying everywhere. So I now mounted my new carbide slitting saw, or actually it's second hand, but it's new for me. And I will try and chop out a piece here. So let's give that a try. Now mounted a high-speed steel cutter from Sandvik. I think this one is very old. I tried it in steel before and my 550 watt motor is a bit too weak, but perhaps it will work in aluminium. Let's give it a try. The what is it called? It's called RCD. My RCD just went. Right, so now the motor is alive again. I just let it cool down for half an hour. It was smoking hot, and I actually don't think that it was the RCD that went. But inside the RCD it's also a fuse, so I think it was the fuse that went due to the motor getting hot and resistance peaking. So let's continue with a regular end mill. Right, so a small jump in the video again. Now mounted the aluminium things, and I'm very happy with the result actually. I think it looks pretty good. Also mounted the the mist coolant thing. So we got a problem with this final part here. I don't know what to do about that really, but it's looking very good, and I'm a bit afraid that I will ruin this good part here if I try to fix this bad part. I don't know what to do about that, but since we're getting a high value here, it means that this one is getting closer, and it could be because it's got a tilt like this, or that it is lower like this. And the ends here of the aluminium, which these rails are mounted, I milled off with the old version of the 6040, and that was not very wise. So these ones are not a 90-degree angle, which might cause some twisting and bending here. So now I have come up with this one. This ain't really precision work, but it looks like I can adjust it pretty nice. So I will try and adjust it up like that, and then tighten the rail. Can't waste any more time trying to fix something that is seem to be impossible to fix. I mean, aligning the rail here, no issue at all. Of course it is some work, but on this final part here I spent like very many hours, and it doesn't really matter. It's almost against the physics. And I also checked the y-axis, and that one is very good, so don't need to do a thing with that one. So the next axis to check now is the z-axis. Now I mounted a steel plate, and I also tested this mist coolant thing, and it seemed to work just like it should. Right, YouTube, this wasn't one of my best videos and I haven't posted for a while, so instead of continuing with this bad video, I think I will upload this one and then I will try to make the next one better. As you can see, I now mounted a vise here, and the plan is that I will mount a piece of steel here tomorrow and then try to come up with a recipe for thread milling. So the goal is to drill the holes and then to be able to thread mill them, so I don't have to use the tap.